Good morning. Thanks a lot for this opportunity to present our point of view with regards in what direction the Ukrainian market of internet access is moving in the context immersion of the CIS, lesser degree of the global problem. I would like to thank Vladimir that part of the explanations on different methodological approaches you took yourself and explained this to me why different figures, indicators, there are different approaches and what way to be the market to be counted. If we bring two positions, on one hand, do you hear me not well? On the one hand, there exists an approach on while measuring the audience of all who use, and these are particularly users, we'll name it in that. On the other hand, there are subscribers. Those who are subscribers of the internet access service. In my presentation, I would like to look into the market from the second point of view, which is of interest mostly to operators, because so far they are not as skillful with getting profit on working in this area. That is on just connected households. What we see in the market of Ukraine and Russia, we're close here to MSA data in view of the methodology how it is implemented. On one hand, these data get obtained from operators, particularly on the number of subscribers for the broadband access to internet services that they have. Where Ukraine is here, Ukraine is one of the top positions. Russia expectedly is at this first place. By Russia is the slowest moving markets in this space. And it is expected that soon the Ukrainian market will catch up with the Russian market, the level of 50% or so. I think we'll get on the same bar. Just a bit higher. The penetration is Moldova and Armenia. The countries are just comparatively smaller, conventionally speaking. So these were the actions of a restricted number of companies that enable them to reach that level. As for the big countries, Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine remains just at top positions. And just out of these countries, Ukraine continues to grow quicker. As for the connecting new subscribers, the pace gets slower, but still the dynamics does indicates the quicker growth. In addition, what has been said about the most expensive and the cheapest, and we're not analyzing into the cost of the megabyte in Ukraine. If we recount it in dollars, it is the cheapest. And there are anomalies of Kazakhstan where this does and delayed starting moment. That word was as a server. Now situation that is expensive. This service is rather expensive and accessible. In Kyrgyzstan, situation is changing for the better. Based on the results of this one, there's the dedicated. And Ukraine, as we see, internet is the cheapest. As a matter of fact, from the social point of view, it's a good thing. From the point of view of operators, I regard it as a serious problem, because the question goes, in what way to ensure the further development of networks and to ensure the proper quality of servicing, at least maintaining call centers or technical support with such a small ratio of revenues. For not all operators from these countries are rather relevant these questions. But we speak about Russia and Ukraine, and where they think how can we just increase revenues for these services. If we look into the dynamics of the growth of the revenues, we see it's a bit lower than the pace of the growth of the subscribers. basis. If the subscribers basis will grow by 10% this year, as we expect, probably quicker, the revenues are just behind, they continue to decline. How to earn? In what way? Ways, roughly speaking. There are two ways, roughly speaking. In what way? In some way, to make just an evident concealed increase in prices, which may not be unnoticeable, and another way just to introduce an opportunity to work, to earn on a so notoriously known pipeline through which the subscriber does pushes any contact, but operator doesn't. Again, in what way? How to earn it? The first question provided by global operators is to earn on video, then to earn on other subscribers services like antivirus software and some other content. So far, no one has succeeded well in that. The main problem in the flourishing of piracy, it's a well-known fact. There are projects where it is proposed in classical IPTV. There are projects, partnership between internet providers and operators of the OTP. But so far, considerable revenues are not pouring into the pockets of operators. What is interesting that number of users of internet access, when we have more than each third household connected to the cable TV, almost all of them, 90%, use the services of the classical cable TV. Our TV is at the 3% level for two models of organizing the services. They are just at the launching condition. So I'll bring an example of Russia, quite relevant on the condition of the piracy and the ways of behavior. The share of the IPTV in the structure of the subscribers of the pay TV, if I'm not mistaken, net percent, quite tangible piece, but based on the dynamics plans, based on plans of the operators and development, we see that share would not grow considerably. We expect that in 5 years it will grow by 3% only. In the absolute volume of the market will be a moderate growth, but which won't rescue the operators and do not force us to expect that subscribers from an older service of cable TV would switch over to a more advanced, more convenient service of IPTV in some shape, in the format and the form smart TV. Receiving on the computer display or through the attachment. And for the smart, we put serious hopes for smart TV. Then we won't see the total crazy rush to these channels. Well, speaking about dynamics of the subscribers, babies, it is on a quarterly basis arranged here. Does a red curve line going downwards says about itself. There is historic dynamics which says that we are to expect this downward movement, 10%, 70% and a gradual slowing in the market with a relevant relatively small penetration compared with most advanced countries where the penetration already aspires for 100%. Although it has been admitted that figures provided by the MSR, for particular, they are thus a bit tricky. And the work on correlating indicators to rate countries in developing internet and ICT require a major effort, because just different countries experience different problems. We already mentioned the issue of tariffs. So we demonstrate here in hryvnias as Ukrainian national currency. There is a gradual decline. So far, to turn over this trend has not succeeded. The example of other countries prove that it should be a downward movement. Two main factors: competition. Competition is enhancing, and its effect is on the one hand, and it provides to the decrease in tariffs. Although traditionally, stakeholders of the market who are wiser, they opt for another way. By proposing of more traffic, of a bigger traffic at the same money. On the other hand, when yet more in the subscribers base, we see people from other operators will lead to further erosion, and just it's simply that because to demonstrate to operators a good base of subscribers, which will after this and they will be diluted. There are similar, not quite favorable phenomena. At the end, I'll present some of these, just to where we might reach with a view of long-term services. As for the regional situations, in regions. So that's how we look by regions. We have more than saturated market in Kiev. We have a relatively even situation in regions. It fluctuates. In most regions, it fluctuates within 8-10% percentage point. A similar penetration, in case if conditions are created for the market development, it just is rather easily obtained among other just backlagging regions, which are difficult for providing access, particularly see the western regions. And on the other hand, there are some depressive areas, depressive regions, because of the poor solvency. Because of that, not many infrastructure facilities are being constructed. I agree fully with Vladimir that the internet access market is nice and unique, that it is implementation in practice in the scope of a state. What we have read in classical textbooks on economy, when on unseen hand of the market, well, first it creates a market, forms competition, provides rather acceptable quality, acceptable prices, and at least at the current stage, just the best policy of the government. Just as Russian citizens, I won't advise to Ukraine the best approach is not to intervene, not to recommend, but in view just now just with that caution, just there are regions, and this might be big regions where this unseen hand won't be able to extend. In Russia, there is an operator, Rostelecom, the largest operator, which operates on the DSL technology basis, but also introduces fiber optics. Historically, the company has telephone infrastructure in many regions, and it has a dual nature. The one is a commercial company, just floating on the exchange, but historically there is a social load on that company. No matter what is said, it is clear to all that internationalization of regions where it is not reasonable will be implemented by this company. On the other hand, for this company, some regions will be loss-making ones. There are villages where the proposed supply of services, or where they are closest to railway. Why not to just to deviate just channels, and there are also rich settlements and also poor settlements, but nevertheless there are big areas where it is economically to suggest that services would be not advantageous. I think that the evaluation of the size of these problems deserves for attention. With what I do not agree with a total approach to do only in that way. In Russia, there is such initiative has been put forward to grant a status of a trans-border operator, to allow to license companies which provide such service. In particular, they are obliged to penetrate into regions of different categories and to reach the smallest urbanized areas. All these are concerned. The services are not so cost-effective. Then the question appears that they may cause damage. This is the structure. Kiev is almost half of the market in view of the digital gap. It has been suppressed. If I'm not mistaken, in Kiev there is about 6 million inhabitants. Together, those who indeed live in the city, that's together officially registered and not registered. It's almost half of the market. I don't have too much time to inform about the merger and acquisitions. So far, we do not see a heavy fist that can break through the market, yet it is still in its formation. For next several years ahead, when 2/3 of the market will be shaped mostly by just half a dozen of major network providers. Usually when we speak about internet, we speak about the market of mostly of private users. Still, we were talking about just as for the corporate subscriber. Blend our pool. When we put these kittens and elephants, we'll have a more complicated picture. But each ninth connection is a corporate customer, they pay, of course, more. There is certain trend going on in this direction. Most providers operated for B2C market, but large companies, corporation, SNB market, particular Soha segment, moves partially to a private market. Just with that, I would stop. We'll have an opportunity to communicate during the coffee breaks or during the association.